A mature woman who proactively invites you to do these 5 things almost certainly has strong feelings for you. Hello, and thank you for returning to the Marriage Life channel. Ladies and gentlemen, when an older woman starts to like someone, she rarely says it directly, but sends signals clear enough for anyone, however subtle, to recognize. The noteworthy thing is that many men confuse ordinary politeness with a green light, leading to missed opportunities or complete misunderstandings. Women at this age aren't easily moved, and certainly aren't easily open. But once they allow a man into their emotional world, it's always accompanied by very specific signs. And in today's video, we'll share those clear, coherent signs in mature women. The first sign, and the one they most often use to seduce someone they like, is physical contact and actively closing the distance. This is considered one of the clearest green light signals. At this age, women are very conscious of personal boundaries and rarely allow intimate touches unless there is a special mutual liking. When a woman is willing to lightly touch your hand, shoulder, or adjust your collar, it's no longer an accidental act, but rather permission for you to enter her private space. Their choice to sit closer or stand closer during meetings is also a subtle way of shortening the distance. It's not ostentatious, but intentional. These gestures create a feeling of closeness and security, gradually breaking down the initial social barrier. More importantly, it shows that they are not only physically comfortable, but also emotionally open to you. For mature women, when this boundary is relaxed, it's usually the result of trust and careful consideration, not a fleeting, impulsive emotion. Secondly, they will show very subtle and special interest in your personal life. This is how older women express their feelings clearly. At this stage, they no longer express it through sweet words, but through practical acts of care. A well-timed text message, a thoughtfully prepared meal, or remembering small details you've inadvertently mentioned all show that you hold a special place in their thoughts. This interest isn't loud or ostentatious, but persistent and consistent. More importantly, it's how they build an emotional connection slowly, safely, and deeply. When a woman begins to care about your daily life, it means she has moved beyond mere social interaction. For them, caring is the language of affection, the clearest way to say, "I care about you," without saying it aloud. Thirdly, their eyes and smiles. These contain very personal messages. Perhaps this is the hardest thing to hide when a mature woman begins to have special feelings. Unlike ordinary politeness, their gaze becomes gentler, warmer, and more prolonged when communicating with someone they like. It's a gaze that contains care, listening, and a little bit of special attention they don't give to everyone. Their smiles also become more natural and radiant whenever you appear. The way they focus their attention on you, almost ignoring everything around them, shows that you hold a special place in their heart. For mature women, their eyes and smiles are not just reflexes, but the result of controlled and considered emotions. When these signals are repeated many times, it's a clear sign that they are gradually opening up to you. However, it's also important to note, eye contact and smiles are easily noticeable, but also easily misinterpreted. A fleeting appearance doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if they are repeated frequently, you'll notice a significant difference. The fourth sign that she truly likes you is proactively suggesting private dates and creating a space just for the two of you. This is a deliberate and fairly clear green light signal. Older women rarely let emotions lead them impulsively. Therefore, when they subtly suggest private meetings, it's usually the result of careful consideration. Seemingly simple requests, invitations for coffee or dinner in a quiet space, are actually ways they create opportunities for the two of you to get to know each other better. Private space helps them feel safe, comfortable, and more likely to express their true feelings. More importantly, dedicating time alone to you shows that you've moved beyond the boundaries of mere social relationship. For mature women, when they narrow their world down to just the two of you, it's a sign they're opening up to a clearly personal and emotional connection. The fifth and final sign is that they proactively open up about their single status and are curious about your love life. This can be considered the clearest confirmation signal. Mature women don't easily share about loneliness unless they intend to open the door to a new relationship. When they mention being single, it's not just sharing, but also a message that they are ready to welcome a man into their romantic life. At the same time, their thorough inquiry about your marital status, your views on dating, or how you perceive relationships shows seriousness, not just fleeting curiosity. They want to know if you're a good match before allowing their feelings to deepen. For mature women, this is often the final exploratory step before they truly place their trust and open up. In short, the 5 signs above indicate that a mature woman has given the green light. In other words, if a woman proactively does these things with you, there's almost no doubt she's genuinely smitten and has feelings for you. Women at this age don't act impulsively, but signal intentionally and subtly. From closing the distance, showing deep interest in personal life, prioritizing eye contact and smiles, to creating personal space and being open about feelings, all indicate they are opening the door to a serious emotional connection. At this age, every action is calculated. Every signal carries a certain level of trust. Recognizing these signs correctly not only helps you understand what a woman is thinking, but also avoids misunderstandings that could hurt both sides. Mature women don't give the green light with words, but by allowing you into their personal space and emotional world. Once that door is open, the important thing isn't to rush, but to be subtle enough to step in the right way. Thank you for taking the time to watch today's video. Hopefully these insights will help you understand women better, especially those in maturity, a very sensitive stage. Wishing you success in winning the heart of the one you love. And next, in our Nighttime Confessions segment, we invite you to listen to the story of a middle-aged woman about loneliness and the voids in her marriage and daily life. My sister and I are close friends, despite our differences in age, viewpoints, and life circumstances. Yet we've remained close for a long time, with no rift in our friendship. Her husband passed away long ago, and she raised her 2 sons alone. Now, both are grown up and have their own families. When she met him, both were educated and from the same hometown. He was 10 years older than her, handsome but rather difficult. He worked in scientific research, while she worked in the medical field. Initially, their married life was sweet and happy. The arrival of their 2 sons made their home even warmer. But that happiness didn't last long. Cracks began to appear, probably from many reasons, including significant financial pressure. Since having children, expenses increased, and the burden of providing for the family fell heavily on her. She had to work extra jobs, but life didn't improve much. From then on, he became quiet and withdrawn. Every time he came home from work, after changing clothes, he would go into his room, close the door, and bury himself in his papers. Only when their eldest son called him from dinner would he silently come out, sit at the table like a stranger, without conversation or questions. After eating, he would return to his room. She tried to initiate conversations many times, but only received dismissive responses. She gradually sensed an irreparable rift. The family atmosphere became cold, like a prolonged Cold War. They argued, then fell silent. Anything they wanted to say was through their son or written down on paper. Life went on like this until he fell ill and passed away. She didn't remarry, dedicating all her love to raising her 2 children. When her children got married and moved out, they paid less attention to her. They would visit occasionally, ask a few questions, and then leave again. Loneliness began to overwhelm her. Many nights she tossed and turned, thinking and then crying. She joined a dance club to find solace. There she met an old school friend, whose wife had also passed away. 2 kindred spirits gradually found common ground. But when he came to light incense on the anniversary of her husband's death, her children showed a disrespectful attitude. Heartbroken, she realized she wasn't strong enough to overcome the barrier from her children, even though she loved him deeply. Finally, she took the initiative to say goodbye with regret. She returned to her small house, continuing the long, lonely nights filled with sighs. I haven't seen her much lately because I've been busy with work. Her life is stable thanks to her pension, but the loneliness remains. One day she asked me to meet her at a coffee shop, confiding that she felt unhappy and lonely. Hearing her story, my heart ached. Tears welled up in my eyes. I hugged her, and we both cried together. After calming down, I left, still lost in thought. Perhaps only when one is in such a situation can one truly understand the meaning of loneliness. Dear friends, the story above is just one of many stories about the loneliness of middle-aged and older women today. It could be within marriage or when a life partner is gone. The woman in the story probably lacked the courage to live for herself, overcoming the barriers of prejudice and her children. If it were you, would you accept living like that? Or would you bravely move on, living the rest of your life, however short or long, fully for yourself, after a lifetime of sacrifice for your family? I look forward to hearing your thoughts and feelings so we can understand each other better and alleviate some of the burdens in life. Thank you again for watching. See you in the comments section of this video.